All right, Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville joins me now. And, sir, it's good to have you on the show. An equity team, effectively a nod to Marxism, as we all know, to be installed inside every single government agency in this country. Your response to that?
Well, it's embarrassing, to be honest with you, Rob. It's, the First Amendment in the Constitution is about free speech, and it's a reason for that, because our founding fathers believed that everybody should have free speech. Now, this equity situation that President Biden's trying to push on the American people, it's all about control. The same thing with free speech. It's all about control. So it's not surprising that they're trying to push the envelope, so to speak. They feel their power. They're pushing their power on more and more people every day. It's through education. It's through everything that American people have anything to do with. So It's not surprising they're doing this. And we'll do everything we possibly can within our powers in the Senate to slow this or stop it.
And just the idea, I mean, the way that it's an assault, I think, on personal responsibility in this country. It's effectively telling people that everything is somebody else's fault, that their situation, I think it's a war on people's desire to strive for a better life. I think it does so much damage to hope and to people's desire to work harder to get to where they want to go. It creates this excuse, and I think it's very toxic.
Exactly. I was a football coach most of my life, Rob, and it's all, football and any type of sport in our country is about competition.
Yeah.
It's about giving everybody the right and the opportunity to do the best they possibly can. And it starts not just in sports, but it's in business, it's in education, it's trying to compete against the other students. They're trying to make everybody the same, and that's not going to work. It has no chance of surviving. This country can't survive with that type of philosophy. This country was built on competition, dedication, hard work, fair play, do it the right way, and compete and beat the other person.
And merit, absolutely. I want to talk about something that you're bringing up here in recent days. The DOD recently announcing up to 21 days of administrative absence for service members traveling to get an abortion. It seems to me there's clearly a political motive for the DOD to make this big claim, this big dramatic move. You have a plan to respond to this. What is that?
Yeah, Rob, we knew this was coming back last summer, and we called the DOD and we asked, hey, we need a briefing on this. Tell us what you plan on doing. We've had a law in place for the military for abortion for years and years, and basically, you can have an abortion if it's about incest, rape, or harm to the mom through health purposes. So we heard that they were planning on changing it. We worked to get a hearing from the Department of Defense. Finally, before Thanksgiving, they came in and said, okay, we'll tell you what we're going to do. And so they said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to change it to where any military person can have an abortion at any time. We'll take them anywhere they want to go. We're going to use taxpayer funds. And by the way, we're also going to allow their dependents to have abortions. So what they're trying to do is set their own law. Wow. So I sent a letter to Secretary Austin before Christmas, said, now, if you put this law in, I am going to put a hold on every single Department of Defense nominee, whether it's an officer, whether it's a civilian. That's one of the things that we possibly can do as a senator. We can put a hold on something. And so now they've done it. We're going to put a hold on it. And we hadn't heard from them yet, but we will eventually when they start finding out. Yeah. Nobody's going to get a possibility of moving up in terms of rank.
Yeah. Well, sir, yeah, keep us posted on how that goes. Absolutely. Finally, I want to ask, you recently wrote in support the battle that we have with AT&T and DirecTV moving into its 4th week now. The most recent instance, you said, of this censorship is AT&T and DirecTV removing conservative channel Newsmax from its platform under the guise of cutting costs. Yet the company has no issues retaining other liberal channels, paying other liberal channels with lower ratings than Newsmax, which calls DirecTV's true motives into question. Sadly, Newsmax isn't cancel culture's first or only target. And it does make sense when you see what we've seen now, the global disinformation index that they created, and only consisting of conservative media. It makes sense exactly how this kind of thing happens.
Yeah, DirecTV claims that it's pulling Newsmax because of cost and ratings, which there's a lot of other stations that ratings are a lot lower than what Newsmax is. Newsmax is actually pulling its own weight. But I'm concerned with conservatives being unfairly silenced on campuses and in the media and business. If you see what's going on in our country, Rob, every day there's something different. It started with President Trump back in Twitter in 2021. They censored him because of safety concerns. Well, they left the Taliban on at the same time. And so we've got all kind of problems with free speech. I know we have problems at the border and crime and inflation, but if we lose free speech in this country, nothing else matters.
That's exactly right. You talk to people all the time that work for major companies, and if they're conservatives, they feel like they can't even speak up anymore. They're totally silenced. It's everywhere. It really is everywhere. Senator, thank you so much for taking the time. We do appreciate it, and thanks for your support.
Thank you, Rob.